You know that one detail about Marvel's Blade that sounds like a throwaway line, but it basically tells you what the whole game is going to feel like. A quarantined section of Paris in the middle of a supernatural emergency. That's not just story flavor, that's a level design cheat code. Alright, Marvel's Blade is being made by Arkane Lyon, the Dishonored and Deathloop people, and is confirmed to be mature single player and third person set in Paris. That alone sounds like yeah, okay, I'm in. But the more I think about the quarantine Paris setup, the more I'm like, this could be Arkane's best possible playground. And no, I'm not doing that whole, it's gonna be open world, it's gonna be 200 hours delusion. I'm talking about something Arkane is actually known for. Dense, smart spaces that make you feel clever for existing in them. Here's what's confirmed from the official description. You play Eric Brooks, Blade, the Daywalker. The game is mature, single player, third person. It's set in Paris during a supernatural emergency, and the key phrase that keeps getting repeated is a quarantined section of the city. Vampires are terrorizing the night, and people are forced indoors waiting for sunrise. Also, the devs have basically been like, we're working, please be patient, which tracks because there's still no gameplay blowout yet. That's the solid ground. Now here's the fun part. What that setting implies for how the game might be built. A quarantined section of a famous city is basically permission to make the whole world feel real while still controlling it. Because Arkane thrives when the map is small enough to learn, deep enough to master, layered enough to reapproach from different angles. A quarantine gives you the best excuse in the world to keep the area tight without it feeling like you're boxed in. You can have barricades, curfews, blocked bridges, police zones, locked metro entrances, and it doesn't feel like invisible walls. It feels like the city is literally under emergency rules. And Paris is perfect for this because it's naturally built for tight streets, interiors stacked on interiors, rooftops, alleys, courtyards, metro tunnels, old architecture next to modern spaces. If Arkane does what Arkane usually does, this becomes the kind of where you discover a shortcut and you feel like you've hacked the universe. Not because the game told you, because you notice a balcony, followed a drain pipe, slipped through a window, and now you're behind someone who thought they were safe. Marvel's own write-up mentions Parisians sheltering at night, basically waiting for sunrise. That screams gameplay loop, because in a Blade game, night shouldn't just be dark at daytime. Night should feel like the city belongs to the vampires. So imagine a structure like this. Daytime, investigation, prepping gear, learning who's infected, finding entrances, trapping vampire nests, talking to survivors, setting traps. Nighttime, hunting, high risk, stronger enemies, scarier patrol patterns, tougher stealth. If this goes loud, you better mean it fights. And because Blade is Blade, you can play him in different moods. Surgical stealth predator, loud vampire blender. I'm not trapped in here with you energy. If they nail that day and night rhythm, you're not just doing missions, you're living in a pressure cooker that flips personalities every cycle. And that's exactly the kind of thing Arkane is good at. A world that feels consistent where your choices change how dangerous it becomes. This is Arkane going third person, which is a huge shift for a studio that's been famous for first person immersion. And honestly, Blade might be the perfect reason to do it, because Blade is all about physicality, martial arts, sword work, gunplay, intimidation, movement. Third person lets them sell the style and precision of Blade's combat way harder. It also lets stealth readability pop, how you're seen, what cover you're using, how you flow through a room. If they keep Arkane's usual systems first design, but wrap it in a third-person vampire hunter package, that could be nasty in the best way. You know what kills hype faster than anything though? A massive map where you spend half your life jogging to a waypoint. A quarantine district suggests the opposite, one area with insane detail. If they treat this part of Paris like a big interconnected puzzle box, like every building matters, that becomes replayable without needing a continent-sized map. And for a Blade game, that's ideal, because Blade's story works best when the city feels claustrophobic, paranoid, and hunted. A focused location can keep that mood locked in. Just to keep it real, we still don't have a release date or a big gameplay reveal. The only recent dev talk is basically working, and you'll see it when it's ready. There's also reporting suggests the project moved into full production around the end of 2024, so it may not be as far along as people assume. So yeah, don't plan your life around it dropping next month. But the setting details we do have, they're spicy. If Arkane plays this smart, Quarantine Paris could be the kind of map you end up knowing like your own neighborhood. Every shortcut, every rooftop route, every building with a back way in. And that's what I want from this game, not endless content. A city that feels dangerous, dense, and learnable. Drop a comment, would you rather Blade be a tight, insanely detailed district, or a huge open world with a million icons? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.